Welcome back everyone to Illusion of Gaia. I am Marcus, and in this part we are moving towards a new destination for our journey into the mountain temple, as it is called right here, because we're looking for a very peculiar item in order to help Neil getting all things sorted with his family. The mountain temple, the summit of Mount Cress. There are mushrooms many times bigger than me, and plant stalks are scattered around. Yeah, this is the most what the fuck area in the game, honestly. Because as you can see, as of right now, the game is surely a fantasy story, and there are a lot of weird creatures and taking liberties with certain locations. But we're all mostly grounded. Here we have these gigantic stalks going all over the place in this labyrinth of vines and these gigantic mushrooms. So really, this is the most the weirdest, most out there area of the entire game, and I kind of enjoy it, honestly. I like the all-out aesthetic. It's very suggestive. It's not as good as Sky Garden. Nothing will ever beat Sky Garden for me in this game in terms of generally aesthetic and feel. But this one is a very close second to be a very memorable area of the game. And yes, this is a dungeon that is gonna give us a lot of strength upgrades. So really, if we wanna feel like an all-powerful being, this is the perfect place. And though the enemies are kind of annoying, we're gonna spend a lot of time tailing these grey skulls that all they do is just going from one extreme to from one end of the screen to the other. So it really feels like you're chasing your enemy rather than fighting it. But the more annoying is these golden skulls, because they shoot whenever they are in your immediate vicinity, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but at the same time, you have to constantly be timing with your attack and your parry, and like, I know this sounds lazy, but it's just, I want to mash the button and be done with it soon with these guys. Yeah, I know. I should at least try, but you should really see me playing action games. This is mainly, I feel, at the end of the day, the reason why I cannot really get that much into games that are much slow-paced and methodical, like, for example, Dark Souls. I think I've mentioned this a lot of the time in my Let's Plays, but basically, yeah. I'm very reckless when it comes to action games. I am very reckless. I just don't. It's not that I don't play defense. I just try to go. If I see that I have a way to basically go for the most aggressive route, I will take it. Sometimes it feels like when I'm playing a game, I'm just shielding damage with my own face, as to say. Which is it's not very good for games like Dark Souls. They really want you to take your time and wait in order to then land your blows. It is something that I very rarely do. If I have to play patiently, I'd rather it to be in a turn-based environment. But yeah, we get a dark space very soon, and that's because this is gonna be a very freedom-centric stage. Damn it! I got out. But yeah, we are gonna spend a lot of time in this place, basically running around just as Freedom. So it's gonna be a very hectic, very offensive, a very offensive dungeon. Just go all around and beat the shit out of everybody. At least Frida does get some time to shine, because recently it's in the last couple of dungeons it was basically the will show for most of the time. Here is basically gonna be the exact opposite, and now I'll be able to show the power up that we got with Dark Friar. After we shoot the attack, we press the attack button one more time, and as you can see, there's this gigantic spread. It's not exactly precise, but it doesn't really matter. Precision is not the problem with this attack. The balls that you end shooting out are so freaking massive that it doesn't matter, even if it isn't the most precise attack available, because you are gonna be able to hit everyone with no problem. And this is great for this dungeon because there are a lot of places where enemies are very close together in these narrow passageways. So spamming Dark Friar is the way to go for most of these situations. And this dungeon is also gonna be a very intricate in terms of just running around and creating our own path, because some of these branches are broken, and we have to basically restore them in order to proceed and find the item that we are looking for, which is the very weird teapot with some where drops of the goddesses are have been gathered, like something kind of weirdly mystical like that, but it works, I guess. How many enemies here? Another 2 of them. And there's a box here, but we cannot exactly reach it from this side of the field. We have to go the long way round. There we go. Oh, thank you for the HP. Yeah, this is what this dungeon is mainly gonna be. Attack boost and HP boost. We're gonna be... This is basically a giant grinding session, basically, at the end of the day. Which, I mean, it's gonna work. It's gonna be very helpful because the next few dungeons are kind of expensive. If I recall correctly, this is the point where the dungeons start to get very big. Even bigger than Mu. Or maybe I'm misremembering, who knows. We're gonna find out fairly soon. Now, you see, there were a lot of enemies in this section, and Darkfire basically mopped the floor with everyone. It's not huge, it also does a lot of damage, like 17 and 20. These are huge numbers for this game. For a game that's basically a Zelda clone. I think the most an enemy has is like 50 HP, or maybe 40. It's the same maximum HP as our main character, which is... Yeah, that is 10 dots on the upper side, 10 dots on the lower side. Yeah, the most is like 40. So, a 19 damage is basically half of an enemy's health. It's a lot. There we go. Thank you for the strength upgrade. I really needed it. By that, I mean I don't exactly needed it. But still, it's good to have. Now, we have the means of reverting back to Young Will for this situation, but we don't exactly need it. Young Will is gonna be essential for basically getting out of this place, because we are gonna have to backtrack once we get to the end, and it's gonna be a long journey. So basically, Young Will is gonna be our way out, but once we have reached that jump at the very beginning of the game, everything here is smooth sailing. And that is the only red jewel inside this place, so... that's one way of getting it. 35 out of 50. Only 15 red jewels are left to take. I love how he's bouncing off on the flowers like that. This giant hulking beast like Frida is bouncing around on these things. I like it. It's kinda humorous. At least for me it is. I don't know about you. Yeah, now we are gonna move and get our first mushroom drop, because the way on north is where we need to go, but the way is kind of closed off right now, so we're just gonna have to move. Can you please stay still in one place? Stupid spider. Come on. We don't exactly need to do this. Come here, please. Thank you. Let's charge and go. Yeah, I'm having way too much fun with this. This thing's also tags the frame rate like crazy. As you can see, the game slows down a lot with that on screen. This game is very intense. I feel this game is way too very intensive for the system. It's not the best looking game that Quinta did. I would love to try, if I ever get good enough at that game, which I don't know, might happen. Like, I got a surprise this Christmas. I was able to beat Lords of Thunder despite being kind of crap at shooter, but between that and Zero Ranger, I'm starting to reevaluate my skill set when it comes to shoot 'em up games. So maybe one day I can be patient enough to learn ActRaiser 2, and at least that one I can try and bring to the channel. I'm still debating, because I freaking love ActRaiser. I would love to bring ActRaiser onto the channel, but that game is an RTS. It's half an RTS game, so it really should. It might end up being just me cutting through all the sim development sections. And we got the mushroom drops. These are the items that we're gonna need to get in order to basically continue exploring forward in this dungeon. Now we are gonna move away back to the entrance, which thankfully we have a shortcut right there. And now, as you can see, on the upper side, the way has basically been torn apart by something. We go over here and equip the mushroom drops, and now the way is open. Let's keep exploring on the upper side right here. And yeah, this is basically the entire gimmick around this dungeon. And it works so well, mostly because we're using Freedom for this entire part. With Will, it might have been a bit more annoying to deal with, but with the inherent power of Freedom combined also with Dark Friar like this, it really gets, it really takes no time at all to deal with the worst this stage has to offer. Man, I just enjoy this game. Once it gets going, it just never stops. But yeah, ActRaiser, my god, I love that game. That game is so unique in its genre. It's this mix of action, section, and RTS that should not work, but for some reason it does. The issue is that this creates a very weird pacing, which is not good for Let's Play. It might work better for stream, but for Let's Plays, ugh. And in Renaissance this is even worse, because like the thing about the Super Nintendo version of ActRaiser is that it's really short. Like, you can beat it in like 3 to 4 hours, even with all the simulation stuff inserted in. If you get good at the action stages, you can very easily beat that game, and you do get good at the action stages once you start having a much bigger health bar. The beginning of ActRaiser is a pain, but it's also mostly because your angel is so... It has such little, such a tiny health bar. Once you start going and you get a bigger health bar, it's a lot more manageable. But that also comes with the another issue of like the game really kind of getting its difficulty curve going down. So the stages are done quickly. Mostly get to stare most of the simulation stuff, which also gets done fairly quickly. And so when they did Renaissance, they thought, we cannot sell a game this short on... I don't remember if it was like 25 or 20 or 30, I don't remember now. So they put a lot of additional stuff, like characters in the game that that they have their own little side stories. I like the concept of the heroes. Each area has its particular hero that you basically save and recruit and grow into your army. That is fine. What has become a little bit divisive about it, it's the fact that in order to make the simulation stuff last longer, we now have tower defense stuff. Which, yeah, to some feel like a gigantic bore. And I can understand it, but at the same time, it's not like you can't expand too much on the simulation stuff, because you're really attracting two different crowds that like two different things. People that enjoy action games don't necessarily enjoy RTSs and vice versa. So you need to keep the RTS stuff rather simple. But by keeping it simple, you're also just kinda making it a boring tower defense. Oh, we got a new power with freedom. This is a power that we're not gonna use all that much, honestly. But it's nice to have, I guess. Area Barrier can now be used. The Aura Barrier is a dark power that can only be used by the Dark Knight Freeden. Use the power of the Aura to put a barrier around you. Use the attack and LR buttons for power. So it basically works as the same as the spin dash for Will. Oh, let's see what it says. Fiddle's power is Aura Barrier. It puts a layer of aura around his body. Enemies at the Mountain Temple are strong. If you use this power, your battles will be easier. I mean, they're already easy enough as they are. It's not like we need to make them even easier. But yeah, basically, this is how it works. You press LNR and you have this barrier around you. The issue is that, as you can see, it doesn't really last that long and you cannot even move with that barrier around you, so it does feel kind of a waste of time. You get more results with other power, like, you see, the Dark Friar that I've been using since the very beginning of this dungeon. Especially now that we got this burst of energy from... I don't remember if it was from the shop or from the 30 red jewels. Either one of these two. Now the only issue is only try to get all the enemies in this place. There we go. Ah, you missed. But yeah, as you can see, with all the attack buff that we got, and this gigantic health bar that we have right now, nobody is an issue here. Get fucked, you asshole. The only very thing that really gets annoying about ActRaiser, which is another reason why I don't really feel like playing it, is that freaky boss rush at the end. When you have to face the powered up version of all the bosses that you have fought in the game since the beginning. That part is... that part is the worst. Because really, you have to be as perfect as possible, which makes sense after all. You basically have to learn all of their patterns. You can't just spam the meteor strike attack and be done with it, especially since it only has one charge. Every spell in ActRaiser has only one charge, if I recall correctly, so yeah, you can't exactly spam magic in order to get out of an hard situation. But at the same time, it's like 5 bosses, one next against the other in a rapid succession. It becomes tiresome, and it also does a number on your nerves. Speaking as a seasoned Mega Man fan, the boss rush is always the part that is like my least favorite. it's only good, the boss rush in Mega Man, because you have all the powers that make it so that the boss rush is done extremely quickly. I mean, you can go Buster only if you want, but that's another thing. A self-imposed challenge, it's different from the section actually being hard. Don't know if I'm making sense to you. And another one is gone now. We have... Yes, we have to continue on, but I feel this is the section where we came before. Yes. Now we go on this side. The issue with this place being so similar to every field, the fact that all this place looks the same, by that make you throw around in a loop every once in a while, but I have a good enough sense of orientation, I feel. Like, I remember in Mega Man X5, in order to make the... since they have a level up system for the enemies in that game, the way that they thought out making the boss rush more difficult was giving everyone a gigantic freaking life bar. And that didn't exactly make the boss fight harder, it just made it took much more time in order to finish it, which was annoying! Verily so. And we got to the end of the dungeon, I feel. Yes! We found the teapot! The teapot of tears from the gods. And with this, we can now go out of the dungeon and back to Euro. So, you don't have a shortcut out of this place. Because if you go around on this side, you're gonna see the road is closed. So the only thing that we can do is backtrack. So, we see each other outside of here and back in Euro. And we are back at the city of Euro. Now all that we need to do is run back to Neil's house and use the teapot on him to reveal some secret about the family fortune. Hey Neil, smell this teapot. Oh, his parents were ghosts apparently. Soon this world will be wrapped in darkness. The previous owner of this body is now a skeleton sleeping under the shrine. Oh, you poor thing! I'm so sad that the slaver is sleeping under the shrine. I finally realize how important my parents are to me. I wish I could have told them. Will just leave me alone for a while. I'm ashamed to hear you talk that way. I've never seen you like this before. Well, that's a nice of a sad revelation for Neil, I guess. For me, I cannot feel sad about the company after what I discovered. The next morning, disappointment awaits. Good morning. Sorry about yesterday. I thought about it all night. I'm next in line to inherit this company. I want to stop the labor trade. I have the chance to I have to change the company that started it. Good for you, Neil! They make money on human misfortune. Well, I totally support your choice, Neil. Go ahead and put a stop to this madness once and for all. You're going to become president of the company? Amazing! Stop it. You're embarrassing me. Kara, someone has come asking about you. Something about being an old friend. What? Hey, come on in. Oh, hey! Remember him? It's Hamlet from the very beginning of the game. Where the hell did you disappear to? What happened? Are you okay? He's come all this way looking for you. Lily found him in Watermia and sent him by Rolex delivery service. Okay, weird. Even if I'm losing my traveling companions, my allies are increasing. I think this was Neil that Wilder was supposed to say it, but whatever. But yeah, we have completed the temple, the mountain temple, and our next destination is gonna unlock once we talk to Kara. But we're gonna see what that next destination is gonna be in the next part of Illusion of Gaia. I am Markus. Have yourself a fantastic day, stay safe, and we'll see each other with the next video.